Hi everybody. Today we are the family division of the High Court of Kenya. The reason being that the court helicopter news is going to discuss the question about how do we share the matrimonial properties. What is matrimonial property? And when you are married, what does the law talk about matrimonial property? The first thing is that a marriage is defined under the Constitution as a union between two opposite sexes, a man and a woman. Then the law provides that any property the husband and wife acquire from the day of marriage, mark it, from the day you celebrate that marriage to the day you are divorced, that property is called matrimonial property. Any property your girlfriend acquired before you married her, that is not matrimonial property. Any property your husband acquired before you became his wife, that is not the property for division of matrimonial property. So that should be the first point of that. Number two, the marriage must, under the Marriage Act now, you must have a marriage certificate. Remember, there are around 5 marriages known by law. The Christian marriage, you must have a marriage certificate. The traditional African marriages, you must have a marriage certificate. The Hindu marriage, the Muslim marriage, and all marriages. If you have no marriage certificate, you are wasting your time. The court will not deal with the question about marriage. So those ones who have not gotten a marriage certificate because you are married under African customary law, go and get a marriage certificate so that you will qualify for division of matrimonial property. The third element is whenever there is a dispute, the court insists that before you divide the property, you must have filed a divorce. That divorce has gone through and you have been granted a divorce absolute. That means you have gone through the process of divorcing. You have been given a divorce nisi. This is a temporary divorce for 30 days, and that divorce has been confirmed. After the divorce has been confirmed in the magistrate's court, now you come to the High Court, the family division. That is where the case for division for matrimonial property is filed. What are the principles to govern matrimonial properties whenever there is a dispute? One must prove direct contribution. As a wife, as a man, when you come to this court, you must show how much you pumped into the properties that you call matrimonial property. How much means you show you took a loan from this bank, you took a loan from this circle, you are doing this business, you got this money from your relatives. You must show by bank statements, by receipts, showing how much cement you bought to buy the land. You must show how much money you put to buy the matatu. So that is what is called direct contribution. Both the man and the woman under the Marriage Act, they are considered equal at marriage and at divorce. So the direct contribution is very, very critical. If you never contributed anything financially, then you lose that percentage which is going to be apportioned for direct contribution. Number two, the second principle is indirect contribution. Most wives don't work, or most wives work up to 5, they go home to go and cook, they go and do things. So the law as it has been developed, that contribution, what you think is of no value, the law looks at it. For example, how much time does a wife serve the husband in terms of as a wife? The court, it is your duty as a wife to show that you are giving consort, sexual comfort to your man. You are giving that man self-esteem. He was working with you in social places. getting recognition. Third, as a home manager, what did you do as a home manager? How many visitors did you cook for that person? How many parties did you host at home? How many managers, how much time did you take to manage the home in terms of house girls, in terms of houseboys, in terms of poultry, in terms of dogs, in terms of cats in the home, in terms of chicken in the home, in terms of cows in the home, the domestic work that you do? How much time did you take for childbearing, child nursing, taking children to school, taking care of their exams, taking care of their homework? That is contribution. It will be accounted for contribution. If he's a politician, how much time did you go to his political campaign to give him the endorsement from the women voters to vote for him? So that is what is called indirect contribution. Then the judge sitting here will look at direct contribution and the indirect contribution. So then he will apportion, if it's direct contribution, which is money, 40%. You got 20%. He gets 20%. For indirect contribution, the judge will allocate either 60%. Then because as a wife, because as a woman, you do more indirect contribution, you are awarded around 40%. The man is allocated 20%. That now plus the two, it comes to 100%. Then the whole property of the marriage is valued. Then that property is either distributed on that basis. There is no concept that properties of marriage will be distributed on 50-50%. It is not true. There is no law that says that the properties of marriage will be distributed on the basis of 50-50%. Properties of marriage will be distributed, as I've said, your direct contribution and your indirect contribution. Two, this property, after it has been distributed, it will be valued and either be sold. One person can buy, one person cannot, can opt to be bought out. But remember, the law protects the matrimonial home. The matrimonial home where children are born, where children are staying, the children of that marriage will be retained in the matrimonial home. 90% of the person who has custody, which is normally the mother, shall be given the matrimonial home, not for her, but to hold on trust for the children, so that the children don't become destitute by virtue of you sharing the matrimonial property. Remember, the High Court here does not deal with matters of maintaining children, with matters of taking children to school. The principles of the Children's Act are completely different from the principle of division of matrimonial property. Are companies that are supposed to be private entities, commercial limited companies, are they supposed to be brought here as companies for division of matrimonial property? If the husband and wife are the owners of those companies, then those companies fall under matrimonial properties. If there are other people or limited in terms of shares, then those properties will not be dealt here. They'll be dealt with at another court called the commercial courts, where company properties are dealt with. So mark my words, you cannot be dividing property of a matrimonial property unless you are married. Concubines, those who come to stay, those women kept as side chicks, do not qualify to be in the division of matrimonial property. You must be a married woman. You must have gone through divorce for you to get what we call division of matrimonial property. Get the next episode of how children are dealt with whenever there is a divorce and whenever there's a dispute on matters, children, how they are brought. Danstan Omari, Court Helicopter News. Thank you.